Welcome back to KCAL News Today. This is breaking news, and not surprising, CBS News projecting former President Donald Trump wins the Republican presidential primary here in California. As CBS News projects, President Biden wins the Democratic presidential primary here in California. Now, from who will replace late Senator Dianne Feinstein to an LA City councilman caught up in controversy running for re-election. Two political experts join us tonight to discuss races to watch this election night. And joining us from UCLA Luskin School of Public Affairs, veteran LA City County leader Suzie Yaroslavsky. Thank you so much for being here today.
Good to be here. And
Sara Sadhwani, professor of politics at Pomona College, and you were also on the State Redistricting Commission as well.
Right.
Thank you both for being here. Sara, I want to start with you. You know, we know that primary voter turnout is not the greatest. It's normal. Yeah. Even in an election season with, you know, presidential candidates. I mean, we just saw the lock here in California.
Right.
They are on the lockdown, so we know that they are going to be the ones. So the interest is pretty low. But what happens here? Do you think these decisions that are made by this electorate that voted today, do you think that's an accurate snapshot?
Yeah, this is one of the big challenges that we're going to face here, right? Because there's a lot of voter apathy about the top of the ticket, right? We knew going into tonight that Donald Trump and Joe Biden were going to be the winners of the presidential race. And that means that there's not a lot of younger voters coming out to cast their ballot. The electorate has swung a little bit this time around. It's a little bit whiter, a little bit older, a little bit more conservative. And that's going to have impacts all the way down the race, all the way down the ballot. And impact all of those other races, the council races, et cetera.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, you know, Zev, we used to call this really an election night, right? Where we'd actually maybe get some results coming in or actual wins or losses we would know. But things have changed. Vote by mail system has changed things, obviously. What are the big races for you to watch tonight?
Well, I'm focused on the local races because Sara is so well versed in the national races. The district attorney's race is one of the biggest that we have. The LA County District Attorney. It's a race. It's a big, very competitive. You've got some congressional races to watch. Several city council elections. About 5 competitive city council elections. And a Proposition HLA, which is the pedestrian safety road diet, however you want to characterize it. Now that the polls have closed, we can say it. And that's turned out to be a little bit more competitive than we thought. That's a City of Los Angeles race election. So there's a lot going on. But you're right. We used to call this election night, but it's really election month because we'll be counting votes for the next 3 weeks. And in some of these races, we may not know the final result for several weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. What about you, for you, Sara? You know, being on the Redistricting Commission, you know that this is going to have an impact on this election. How do you see that playing into certain congressional races?
Yeah, you know, here in California, of course, we have a redistricting commission statewide. Hopefully very soon we'll have one here in the city of Los Angeles as well. That's going to be on the ballot for voters in November. But statewide, you know, because of that independent commission, we have some of the most competitive congressional races in the country. And that means all eyes are on California because the balance of power in the House of Representatives is at stake. And there's a handful of races here in Southern California that could really make or break the outcome of the majority in the House of Representatives. Places like Orange County, where Katie Porter, of course, is vying for that Senate seat, but it opens up a district out in the Inland Empire where Will Rollins is competing against Ken Calvert. There are so many races.
And let's go back to District 41. That is actually considered one of the most flippable by Democrats being eyed nationwide because of that reason.
That's right. Katie Porter barely was able to win that race, and she was a fundraising superstar and had a lot of support throughout that region. And what we've seen this time around is the two Democrats vying for at the primary stage have really been slinging the mud, which is only going to hurt either one, whoever moves forward come November.
Absolutely. Zev, I have one final question for you, and you have served on the LA County Board of Supervisors. This race is interesting in the fact that there was a surprise former Sheriff Alex Villanueva entering in the District 4 race. Now, how do you see that playing out? An incumbent supervisor in LA County has not lost in 44 years.
Right.
Can that happen?
No, it's not going to happen tonight. I'm very confident about that. Former sheriff Villanueva got killed in the in the election when he ran for sheriff in that supervisorial district that he's running in now.
Right.
And he's running against Janice Hahn, who is well known and has done a good job, and I don't see that as being a close race. There are two other races. There's Supervisor Catherine Barger in the 5th District, the north part of the county, north and northeast part of the county. She's got several opponents, but I think she's run a very strong campaign.
Even despite the redistricting there.
Yeah, I don't think the redistricting is really going to make a difference unless it's a very close race. Then we'll have to see if it made a difference and in whose favor. She's done a great job as a county supervisor, and I worked with her when she was a chief deputy to one of my colleagues, so I'm a little biased, but I think she's run a strong race. And there's one other supervisorial race, the second, Holly Mitchell, the incumbent there, and I don't think she has any serious competition. So there are 3 races this year in the Board of Supervisors, and it's one of the most powerful local government bodies in the country.
All right, Zev and Sarah, thank you so much. Of course, we'll be checking with you throughout the night for more analysis. And our California primary coverage just getting into gear tonight. More to come, including live reports from the De Leon and Gascon counts ahead at 8.